I see. So guys, anyway, since I'm actually understanding that my content is all uploading online, I'm making sure now I can start fresh with my nice and beautiful YouTube account now. I can go and upload what I need to do online. And I'm making sure anyway that since I'm actually uploading online, I promise you Jesus Christ is saying that if you're uploading your stuff to people and you're sending them content, I promise you they feel much more in devotion to you. And that's it. I promise you I feel that no matter what, I'm just involving other people in what I'm doing. So if you're doing that for yourself, then you're focusing on understanding that I have all these women in my actual phone over here and they look very beautiful. So what I need to do is focus upon understanding that I'm just growing myself differently, and now it's all different. I focus upon just deleting everything from my phone now that I never need. I do need myself in terms of my word I, but I need more always. I just need to delete all this content that I have that is from yesterday. I realize now anything that's from yesterday, I realize now I want to delete all this content that I've already done and that's a complete and that's already gone uploading online. So it's already something that's already gone online. So I want to delete all the content in my phone that's already online for myself. And that way I'm understanding that no matter what, I can do that quickly. And then I focus on understanding to just see my nice and beautiful phone and how much storage space it has. I start fresh from this point. I'm making sure anyway that I have more enough internet now. I have everything that I need. I understand that no matter what, that Mega Drive is helping me so much here. And I'm focusing on making sure I'm lifting myself, I'm lifting everything. And that way I'm understanding that no matter what I do. Now I focus upon loving myself, because as I love myself always, I'm understanding that there's always some kind of way that you can always fix an issue for yourself and you can fix everything, because that way you're doing greater regardless. So just make sure that you're really enjoying yourself. So as you enjoy yourself, just be making sure that you're doing a nice and beautiful job for yourself, because that's how you actually live life. I mean, you live life through making sure that you have more than enough content to deliver. So if you're delivering content for yourself and you're making sure that you have more than enough of what you need, then you're just focusing on understanding that you want to be able to have more storage space for yourself. So go and see exactly where your storage is going and why is it going that much into that system or whatever it is. And it's actually the applications around here. So I'm understanding that no matter what, that since I understand applications, I can go and delete applications now. And I'm understanding that no, I can actually go through these applications and I can teach you exactly what's going on with websites today, and I can actually go and do that one by one. And the thing is now, if I do that, probably it's more how I feel. That I can go into any kind of store today and I can see what exactly they're selling and I can see exactly what I'm doing right now. So if I just go into the list, if I go to the list of specials and whatever's happening over here, I can always read the ingredients upon everything and I can see straight away what to understand. So anything that I want to learn about life, I can go and search it up really quickly and I can start learning about what's in all the foods out there. So I realize that no matter what, that if I learn really quickly upon the nice and beautiful Coles application, so all these applications you can get to learn the information, and then I just go and learn very quickly upon all these nice and beautiful aspects of life where I'm actually learning about what it is. So I see soy lecithin, I see soy lecithin is a supplement, and it's one of the genetic in terms of lecithin is one of the generic terms of the designating ways of a variety of naturally occurring fatty compounds, which is a compound. So I understand that lecithin, in terms of lecithin, is a fatty compound that's found in the nice and beautiful soybeans. So it's actually healthy for you. So I'm understanding that's actually excellent. So I'm understanding that no matter what, that as I look in these nice and beautiful ways of life over here, I'm understanding that no matter what, that just go really aim to just go and read the nutritional information over here. But if I read something out of life, I'm always delivering that nice and beautiful way of life that you understand everybody's always here to manufacture something about life over here. So it's much more how I can just go through all these kind of, let's say, nice and beautiful marbles of life over here to see what people are selling and why. So if I understand anything about life over here, I can see straight away how I can go really see the nice and beautiful ideas. And if you're scanning for ideas over here, you're making sure that no matter what, you have all this nice and beautiful overheating of washing machine and all this nice and beautiful stuff where you're just looking at all different types of stuff that they're actually, let's say, placing in their nice and beautiful dictionary over here. But if you're looking for any ideas over here, then you'll understand that no matter what, that they're always promoting information everywhere. So make sure you're always looking for that nice and beautiful information of what you need. So no matter what I do, every single day I'm looking for the aspects of life to understand every single day that it's much more how I feel. I can move on with that information. I can move on. So what I need to do is every single day just study upon understanding that no matter what I'm doing now, if I just keep going that way, it's much better for myself to go and search up all the nice and beautiful products over here. I understand that no matter what, that people are always placing these products and they're placing everything into their Coca-Colas and all that. So what I do is I just go and see straight away what they're actually placing in the ingredients of everything. So I'm understanding that food acids, for example, is found in the Coca-Cola. So I want to see food acids over here. I said food acids. I mean, that's a food additive. So anything that's a food additive is a vinegar or citric acid, or it has, I mean, citric acid is actually tartaric, or as tartaric, or as tartaric. I see tartaric. See, tartaric acid is citric acid, and citric acid is malic acid, and malic acid is folic acid, and folic acid is fumaric acid, and fumaric acid is lactic acid. I see lactic acid is tartaric acid, and lactic acid is malic acid, and lactic acid is folic acid. So folic acid is citric acid, and fumaric acid is citric acid. So fumaric acid is tartaric acid, and anything that's an acid in food is acidity regulators. And as you look at the nice and beautiful regulators of here, then you understand that no matter what, that you're looking for something that is alkaline in foods, because that's the best kind of food additive. And just making sure that no matter what, that you understand straight away the list of acidic foods is anything that has meat or grains or dairy, or anything that has unsprouted, in terms of unsprouted beans in terms of life, and understand that anything that's a sprout is beans in terms of life. So beans have the nice and beautiful acid in terms of acid that you need, and understand that no matter what, it's much more how you feel that you must grow yourself anyway. So sunflower and pumpkin seeds have acid, and so do nuts and carbonic drinks and alcohol. So now I'm just learning quickly about nutrition over here. But as you learn every single day what you need to learn about whatever it is, then you're actually just putting everything into the audio contents. And you must understand every single time that you must understand that there is such thing as low acid or acid-free diet. And you're making sure that no matter what, that you're learning very quickly upon what people are talking about with substances that interact with the body. And you're making sure that no matter what, you have all this nice and beautiful information over here to just understand acidity and alkalinity, and also acidity. Now acidity is something that's opposite of alkalinity. So anything that has food acids is acidity type of foods. So that's more foods that has less alkalinity. So just understand food acids is something that is the opposite of alkalinity. I mean, in a sense, so be aware of that now, and understand that no matter what, that what I do now is I focus on making sure I have more alkaline foods in my diet, and that way I'm learning much more how to have energy here. So now as I really grow my soil, I understand water has a lot of alkaline into it, and that's the nice and beautiful purity of minerals that you need every single day to understand pH value, which is pH 7, and which is anything to do with alkaline. And you're making sure that you understand that pH 7 is also acidic, and it's also anything to do with above pH 7 in alkaline. So you're making sure that no matter what, that if you understand every single day that you're learning the nice and beautiful digestive system of pH values, and you're making sure that you can really go more alkaline every single day, is much more how you get energy today. And you must understand it's all fluids, and making sure that you're always learning that nice and beautiful PHPE type of stuff. So you're making sure that you're learning what saliva in the nice and beautiful upper stomach is, and with lower stomach, which is the upper stomach, and you're making sure that the small intestine is the large intestine as well. And you're making sure that the large intestine over here is the one that absorbs water and eliminates the nice and beautiful digestive food and fiber, is the largest intestine. And then you're making sure that with the small intestine, that the small intestines are something that completes the digestion, and it also absorbs all the nutrients in the bloodstream, is the small intestine. But the large intestine is something that clearizes you of all the nutrients and everything, in terms of everything that's fiber and anything that never digests its food. And that way you're learning very quickly upon understanding different types of information. Or else, although if you understand the lower stomach over here, it's something that's releasing the hydraulic, in terms of hydraulic acid, to break down the food and to kill the bacteria. So you must understand that the lower stomach kills bacteria, and also it helps you to break down the food every single day. So make sure you understand that. And also the upper stomach, I realize Jesus Christ can see this. I ask Jesus Christ to see this. I realize it's more how I'm learning how to just go and talk out all this nice and beautiful information into the podcast over here, and I'm learning very quickly how to study something about whatever it is. So I'm not saying how to really do some study sessions. It's just this way. So as I really understand that, I can show people an example of what I'm doing here, and that way I'm understanding it's the best way. So I'm understanding that no matter what, that I'm already doing that. Also, the upper stomach over here is something that you must understand, that when I'm doing an audio program such as this, I'm understanding I'm doing an audio program now, but make sure you understand I'm reading Google Trends over here. I'm reading articles around the nice and beautiful, let's say, information on Google. I'm reading it to you, and that's it. I'm learning like that, and that's how I learn key study skills, to study information to become more. And I'm already a millionaire, so I'm making sure that no matter what, that if you understand the upper stomach is beginning always, and it begins in the pre-digestion process. So I'm not saying that the actual upper stomach is something that begins in the pre-digestion process. So anything that's upper stomach is always something that happens prior to the digestive system. So make sure you understand that the lower stomach is something that breaks down the food, while the upper stomach is something that's just about to begin the process of everything. So the upper stomach is beginning the process of the digestive system, while the lower stomach is breaking down the food. But the upper stomach is something that actually goes and is beginning the process to break down the food, is what they're saying. So no matter what, if you see the saliva is something that eases the passages of food through the food pipe and making sure that it can break down starch. And now what is starch? I realize starch is something of saliva, or something of food, or something of the nice and beautiful gaps, or the nice and beautiful passages of the food pipe. And you're making sure that you're understanding saliva is something more I have to read. So I'm understanding that anyway, since I'm actually learning over here the nice and beautiful ranging of wherever it is, I'm understanding that anything that's anything that's alkaline is ranging from 7.35 to 7.45. And now you want to actually always do better than that. But make sure you understand that no matter what, that if you're understanding that the pH level is something that you must understand every single day, that you can always understand every single day to live your life. But I realize every single day that if you're exceeding the limits in the directions of drastically in something of making sure that you're doing better, then make sure you understand that's the way. But make sure that no matter what, that you're understanding how negative people can be writing stuff because they never are curious about it. So you can straight away see the information of people and how they actually write everything down. So I realize the kidneys are something that play a neutralizing acid, in terms of the kidneys play an acid in the blood, and you must understand that. So I mean, every single time the kidney is always playing a part in your body, and you're making sure that no matter what, that acidic diets are bad for overall health. You must understand. So anything that's acidic is anything that has meat and those nice and beautiful foods I've already given you. And just make sure you're never eating food acids. I mean, make sure you're never eating food acids. And make sure you're going alkaline foods, is what they're saying. And that way you understand that alkaline foods is more vegan food. And anything that's never vegan is more acidic foods. I mean, saying like white sugar is acidic foods. And anything that is, let's say, fatty foods is acidic foods. And anything that is also oil is very acidic foods. And anything that is also, let's say, the nice and beautiful salt is very acidic foods. You understand? So make sure you understand that alkaline foods have little salt in it. And low sodium is very nice and beautiful to understand. That anything that's low sodium is more alkaline. And anything that's more doing a life for your life, you're making sure every single time that nothing is legal and when you're promoting yourself. And what you need to realize is every single day, just go and promote yourself. But Jesus Christ says that it's never legal to promote yourself. I mean, just make sure you understand that somebody over here is actually very jealous of me, and they're focusing on talking me down in a way that every time I give them ideas, they are complaining about me. In a sense, so what I do is I just focus on understanding that I have to go and promote myself regardless of them. So that's the thing when I give them knowledge, or as I give them knowledge and they try to really try to drastically tear me down. In a sense, so this individual just deserves to get a block from me. I'm not saying that no matter what, I just focus on letting it be now. I mean, in a sense, because I realize I never want to talk to people who are trying to drag me down. In a sense, so make sure you understand that no matter what, that Jesus Christ says that this individual is just stupid. In a sense, because every single day you must understand how you need to grow, and they're just unaware. In a sense, so I'm not saying that when I say Jesus Christ says this and that, I mean, he means, or as Jesus Christ means that they're just unaware of everything. In a sense, so anyway, or else just go and promote yourself, because it's never illegal to go and promote yourself on cars. But guess what I do? I just go and actually see the information anyway of what they're doing. And now Jesus Christ says that if it's the case that it's illegal, then guess what? Jesus Christ says go another way. And I understand that no matter what, that I just go and see, is it illegal to promote yourself on cars? I say, is it illegal to promote yourself? I say, is it illegal to promote yourself overall? Roshi, never. Roshi, it's never legal to promote yourself overall. You understand? I mean, guess what, Roshi, that's overall. Roshi, you understand? So no matter what I do, I'm understanding that no matter what, I want to go and see what is happening over here. So I'm not saying that no matter what, that if I go and really do something to improve my life, I'm not saying that no matter what, that other people want to slaughter me and they want to kill me because I'm doing greater than them. So I understand that no matter what, that's much more how I feel. That no matter what, that I learn something really quickly now. It's more how I feel that I'm just really enjoying myself. So what I do is I focus upon understanding that I want to go and grow myself all the time. So what I need to do is grow myself in different ways, but I'm understanding that Jesus Christ says that there's somebody over there who wants to kill me. And it's much more how I feel. So, otherwise I never want to kill anybody, but the thing is, every single day that I'm focusing on understanding that I'm learning. I'm learning very quickly. So I'm actually learning something over here that it's just how I feel. I feel that I understand that no matter what, that this world is never for me anyway. So focus on just making sure that you understand that whatever's happening in life over here is totally going against you, and just make sure that you go against them in a way that you're giving them knowledge and forget them. I mean, the more you give knowledge, the more they want to kill you. I mean, the more you give knowledge today in the world, the more they want to kill you. So just give more knowledge and let them kill you. And that's it, man. I mean, what? I mean, forget this world, man. I understand. So what you need to realize is always understand that if you're doing anything to just say promote yourself, you're making sure that you must understand every single time to be accurate with what you're doing is what they're saying, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you're learning how to go and never mislead people with what you're doing, but you're making sure that you're qualifying yourself into whatever it is that you're learning, the true advertising of life. But if you're giving people ideas and they're never appreciating your ideas because they're talking negative about you, then guess what? I realize they are somebody who believe it's illegal in a way that they are somebody who are holding themselves back. So make sure you understand that no matter what, that if you're advertising yourself on anything, then make sure that no matter what, that you're learning very quickly upon how to actually go and really do your business. So make sure that no matter what, that you're always learning the good benefits of everything, and you're making sure that you're learning what you need to go in terms of what you need to go, and you need to go and realize I'm always never angry at anything. I'm making sure that no matter what, that as I learn very quickly upon how I really can see what's going on, I can see how angry people are about me. When they're very angry that I'm promoting myself, man. I mean, come and get me. Come and get me quickly. I mean, every single day, focus on understanding that what you want to do is every single time when you have more success, I promise you, they hate you, man. I mean, they hate you so much. So what you need to do all the time is focus on understanding that if the police comes to you and they say, never promote yourself, I mean, guess what? I mean, just go promote yourself. I mean, promote yourself right away. In a sense, so no matter what, that this individual is saying that it's illegal to promote Jesus Christ on the actual cars over here. I mean, since Jesus Christ says, forget them and just keep going. I understand? Because that's why they have no Jesus Christ alone. I mean, in a sense, so every single time I'm just focusing on understanding now how I just rule over them. I rule over them every single day. So I'm focusing on understanding that no matter what, that as I go really, really dwell upon something, or as now, even the police over here, the police came to me and said, hey, never promote Jesus Christ on the highway like this. I mean, they're saying, I mean, they're very dangerous. I mean, in a sense, so they're acting like three of them. Approach there were three of them, and I understand Jesus Christ can see that. Approach they were telling me to never be on the highway over here to promote myself. And some other guy was saying to go away from the place and to never promote Jesus Christ. In a sense, so I could see these people and 4 police officers around town over here, and they're very, very, let's say, negative people. So I'm always understanding that. So I'm understanding anyway that as I go and really, really dwell upon something that is nice and beautiful for myself, I'm focusing on understanding that those people who want to give me fines can give me fines, but I'm always promoting myself. So I'm making sure that I can hear some conversations that's going on about my life over here. So I'm making sure that no matter what, that I focus upon living my life to the best of my ability, but it's much more getting hot in here, so I have to take off all my clothes. And I never take off my clothes, but I just go and bring myself into a better state of mindset. So what I do is I focus upon understanding that if I do anything to really, really grow myself, I'm focusing on understanding that it's much more how it is. But if they ban that, Jesus Christ says that they want to make it illegal to promote yourself always. Understand? So make sure you understand that you always promote yourself regardless. And that's how you become successful. So the world around you wants you to never promote yourself. I mean, do you understand that? I mean, they call it illegal. I mean, they say it's illegal to promote yourself. But go and promote yourself always. And understand that no matter what, if you really, really enjoy yourself really every single day, to go and really, really disclose everything about you, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you give people everything about you daily, so you can understand that no matter what, that you have a nice and beautiful time of whatever it is, in terms of whatever it is, to make sure that you're learning everything about life. Then you're making sure that no matter what, that you understand that nothing in terms of life can be misleading you. I mean, nothing's ever misleading you in life. But what they're trying to do over here in terms of the laws over here, when they're trying to tell you what to do in terms of life, I mean, they're trying to actually tell you what to do, and they're making sure that they are trying to rule over you, is what the law system is saying. And that's why they're saying, hey, there's somebody more important than you in life. And that's what they're writing over here. And they're actually writing information to tell you that they are people who want to take power and control over you. And they're giving you systems about that. I understand. So what you do is, if you go and do better than the systems, then they kill you. They kill you. And that's what it is, yeah? So that's why Jesus Christ is doing better than their systems, and that's why they kill him. Because no matter what, you can see it. I mean, in a sense, so no matter what, I just go and do my life right now. So what I want to do is let it be. I exit in this life in a better way, and I'm focusing upon saying, I see an image of me over here, and how people are trying to tie me down, and they're trying to make me a criminal. They're saying, they're trying to make me a slave. And I can see it. I can see the image over here. So what I do is I make sure that no matter what, that I see other people are saying how misleading I am, and I'm making sure that no matter what, I just go and focus upon something that helps me grow. So what I do now is I focus on saying that Jesus Christ says just keep going, because that's how he is. And I focus on making sure I learn to just go and give away whatever I need, to make sure that no matter what, I can see straight away how I'm doing great. So what I need to do is I always meet everything in terms of a nice and beautiful way. And always saying how you win a prize if you let them dominate you. Haha. Whereas now what I do is understand that no matter what, I can focus upon saying that no matter what, if you want to understand that you never go to them in terms of people who made laws around town, we never go to them for anything. I understand, because otherwise they try to tell you who's the boss. I understand? But guess what happens with them? Then somebody else is telling them who's the boss. Somebody else is telling them who's the boss, and they dislike that. Why do you dislike it, man? Why are you telling other people to be the boss? Why are you telling other people to see who the boss is? Understand? Everybody's the boss. Understand? So they never want you to be the boss. They want to be the boss. They want to be the boss of you. As soon as you say no, then they kill you. Then they kill you. As soon as you say no, that you're never the boss of me, or should they hate you and they just go and kill you. So that's the law system today. And just make sure you understand straight away that you go and really, really dwell upon understanding what you need to do in terms of life. So as I promote myself, I feel that Jesus Christ understands that they are getting more jealous of me throughout life, and I understand it straight away. I promise you, they are sneaky, or they're being sneaky, but some are actually really, let's say, nice to me about it. So I'm understanding that no matter what, that as I go and really, really dwell upon life, I'm understanding that they have no word eye. I promise they're unaware upon what they're doing. And I'm understanding that no matter what, that there's a better world than this. I'm making sure that I understand how alone people can be in this lifetime. And making sure that no matter what, that I focus upon understanding every single day. I look for anything that helps me grow. So as soon as you're trying to get into the spotlight with yourself, I promise you that it's much more how I can see the deal over here. I can see how much you have to go through to even be in the spotlight. I can see how much there is to go in the spotlight. I'm already breaking limits. I'm breaking everything to get up there in a better way. And they can never stop me. I mean, they can never go and do anything that is a loser, because I'm never a loser. And the same about anything that they believe is a loser. I mean, that's why they are a loser, because they believe that. In a sense, so no matter what, I realize every single day that as I really, really go and understand the nice and beautiful contradicting effect over here, to make sure that I'm promising myself over here to keep going, and making sure that no matter what, that as I really, really find everything much more reasonable in a way that I'm believing myself, in a way that I'm learning how other people have no information to give you. And as they give you information, I mean, they blurt out stupid behavior that is never really challenging you, in a way that they just never want you to be successful, but they're believing other people's information and they're saying what other people are saying otherwise. And because they never promote themselves on cars, that's why they say it's illegal. And so what you do is just move on from the information in a better way and go and learn something. I mean, learn something on Google and understand that no matter what, that you're learning how to go on your life, in terms of your life, to do better. So promoting on cars. I want to see anyway what they're saying, because guess what they're going to say. And I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm always doing much more to help my nice and beautiful way. So I say promoting business cards. I say promoting business cards on cars. I say no matter what, that if I go and do something nice and beautiful, I realize that this person over here has no information about that. I'm making sure that no matter what, that they have some information about something. I'm making sure that no matter what, that it's more how they're saying to make it illegal. Or actually, that's what he's saying. Or actually, that man is saying, hey, they're trying to make this illegal. Or actually, now Jesus Christ says, yeah. Or actually, they're trying to make it illegal, and that's what he's actually saying to me right now. I mean, he's saying, hey, the police are trying to make that illegal. I mean, they're trying to knock you down. I mean, he's saying, come on, I mean, I need you to go up. So that's how deep the information goes. So it goes really deep, but it's more how from the surface it looks like they are trying to make you to appear that you're doing something that is no good. I mean, they're trying to make you feel like that in terms of life. When they say, hey, I mean, that's illegal. I mean, that's how they sound. I mean, they sound like they fucking never want you to promote yourself. I mean, understand? But all he's really saying, this man, is saying, hey, they're trying to make this illegal over here, man. I mean, understand? So, no matter what, I realize, anyway, just go and scream out business and scream out a better way for yourself. And that way you're learning very quickly upon what you need to do. So what I do now is I just go and learn much more about life. I understand Zig Ziglar saying, boy oh boy, I see the redhead. I see Zig Ziglar, I can see that. I see boy oh boy, I see the redhead. Where's the redhead, man? Where is the redhead? I'll say, why not? But that's how Zig Ziglar says. He says, boy, boy, I see the red hair over there. I said, yeah, I see the red hair, man. So I love the redhead too, man. I love the redhead. Or else every single day, then you know, I mean, you must understand that it's just a joke that we have over here. For we're making sure that you understand Osho, for example. I mean, when he talks, when he says, this person get the portable speaker, and he no longer have portable speaker. I mean, they go to shop to get portable speaker, and then no longer should go to the shop to get the portable speaker. What's going on over here? It's contradictory. I mean, saying so. No matter what, it's just the funniest thing, man. That when you talk contradiction with people, it's the funniest thing. I mean, you take them one way and another way. What's the point in that? When you're teaching the contradiction, when you're teaching the art of contradiction, I mean, you're saying every single time, go this way and go this way. But go neither way now. I mean, Osho goes, hey, I mean, you guys have to go right, and then you have to go left. And then he says, go neither way. I mean, never go this way and never go this way. I mean, the sense, so the whole thing is just the nice and beautiful attitude, yeah? So, it's just, how do you actually understand that? I mean, you understand? But it's more how you have to feel the nice and beautiful word I over here, and that's it. I mean, you just have to understand it's straight down the middle, man. I understand, so every single day, that the art of contradiction is something I teach people. And I'm not saying that no matter what, if you want to metabolize your food in terms of life, in terms of chemical residue, then you're understanding that it's also known as ash, for example. So what you need to understand, that when you have body fluids in ash, then you understand that it can be acid forming and also alkaline forming, to make sure that no matter what, if you're somebody who understands the reaction of the body. I mean, in a sense, so what you have to understand, the hypothesis is the foods containing anything around life, and you're making sure that it has also acid forming substances in alkaline foods only, and you're making sure that no matter what, as you grow in the accumulation of acid in alkaline only, you're making sure that no matter what, that you're learning how to be leaching for alkaline minerals, to make sure that you have calcium, and making sure it comes from the bones as well, and you're making sure that you're erecting them in a better way, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you must understand that anything that's nutrients goes out through the urine, of course, and you're making sure that you understand that no matter what, that if you are learning something about the consumption of acid forming foods, then you're making sure that the mineral is also something that can have in terms of more, and you're making sure that you understand that the bone can also have bone loss in terms of anything, whereas the bones can also have bone loss in terms of increasing osteoporosis, which is a condition, and it's a risky condition of something where you're understanding that you can go and just read all this nice and beautiful medical stuff about everything. So osteoporosis is something that develops in the bone density. So you understand that anything that's bone density is anything that's actually decreasing your bone, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you're just reabsorbing more bone tissue in a way that you're producing more of it through calcium, and you're making sure that way you relieve yourself from osteoporosis, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you must understand that anything that has bone tissue can also produce less, and you must understand that no matter what, that you realize that you must replace bone tissue with more calcium to make sure that you have no disease. And that way you must understand that no matter what, that osteoporosis happens more over time. So you must understand that osteoporosis is always happening to people who are over 30, because over 30, in terms of people who are over 30, are developing less bone mass, and they're decreasing their bone structure over time, because that's just something that happens physically, and people over time start to get arthritis, and they start to get osteoporosis because their bones are becoming less and less and less over time, and that's why. So just understand how to learn about different fractures and what's happening in the hip and spinal vertebrae, which is all part of the bones, and you're making sure that you have the peripheral joints, which is also such as the wrists, and you're making sure that anything that's peripheral joints is something around the knees or the elbows or the wrists, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you understand those are all peripheral joints in your body, and you understand that all your body can get fractures as well. So just be careful upon how you're walking over time, and that way you understand that the word IOF stands for International Osteoporosis Foundation. So I'm understanding that no matter what, I have to go and really, really promote my Instagram over here, but I'm understanding that no matter what, it's much more important that I go and let it be now, so I can learn more, I love I. But as I go and do something around articles, and I treat everything in terms of what's happening around the world, I'm always understanding to go and look at all the signs and symptoms of everything, and just learn all the medical treatment and doctor's information all the time, so I can just go life coach people in different ways. So I'm understanding that if you're breaking bones after falling lightly, then you're making sure that no matter what, that you must understand to never fall lightly, but make sure that you understand that you're falling in a better way, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you're never breaking your bones. And you're making sure that no matter what, as you understand that anything that breaks bones is a sign of osteoporosis and also arthritis. So if you understand that, if somebody goes and breaks their bones today, or if they fall and they have an injury in like bone mass or something like that, and they, let's say, have an injury of a bone, or maybe they break their leg or break their arm, then it's a sign of osteoporosis and arthritis. And it's also an injury. I mean, so make sure you understand that. I mean, anyway, that if you're learning very quickly upon developing much more, then you understand that no matter what, you must experience everything that is a minor incident to make sure that you have to understand how to sneeze and how to cough for yourself in a way that you understand that you must understand that anything that has nice and beautiful cause, then you understand that nice and beautiful osteoporosis of osteoporotic, in terms of osteoporotic bones, is something that can break in a nice and beautiful often of the occurring hip, in terms of the ratio of the wrists and hips. And you're making sure that you understand that no matter what, that the spinal vertebrae is for anybody who understands much more. So make sure that no matter what, you must understand that people who break their bones or hips or wrists or anything like a spinal vertebrae is also somebody who may have and does have osteoporosis and also arthritis in those bones as well, because the bones are getting weaker if you break them. In a sense, so make sure you understand that you never get weak bones throughout time. And that way you're healthier, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you become a vegan, because veganism helps you with bones all the way through. So make sure that no matter what, that as you're learning the posture and anything that's nice and beautiful in your lead change, then you're making sure that you're noticing a increase in height with your understanding that you're just doing better upon whatever it is to help yourself to lift yourself in a nice and beautiful direction. I see Andre the Giant as well. I promise you, every single day I just feel spirits are around me. I'm understanding that no matter what, that you are just looking at nice and beautiful ways of life over here to focus upon seeing anything that has maybe a discomfort in your life, where you understand that no matter what, you can always locate bone damage, and making sure that you can see to indicate in terms of anything that's a fracture, so you can understand to seek medical advice for yourself, where you can get more information about how to never ever break your bones, is what they're saying. So make sure you understand that every single day you're always looking for more information about everything, so you can treat yourself, and you can always develop yourself to make sure that you never ever doing anything other than preventing disease in your life is the best way. And then you're making sure that you always have healthy bone mineral density and bone mass, so you have to understand how to eat better, and you have to make sure that you're maintaining healthy bones and healthy minerals in your life to make sure you get all the best nutrients always, and making sure that you're preventing fractures, and also make sure that you do reduce physical pain in your life always. I mean, make sure you never have physical pain in your life. I mean, because you never need physical pain. I mean, so that way you understand that no matter what, that physical pain does reduce bones. I mean, do you guys understand that? Or anything that has physical pain is reducing bone structure, and it's a sign of osteoporosis and also arthritis. So just be careful, guys. So if you walk 50 billion kilometers, then guess what happens? I mean, your legs may start to feel pain a lot if you're walking so much. And that's also something that's a warning sign that there is osteoporosis and also a fracture or an injury, also in terms of a nice and beautiful substitute to say that you must understand that you must do greater than that, and you must understand also to understand that physical walking and all this exercise can cause osteoporosis, and also can cause pain in your bones and pain in your legs and arms. And yes, it does increase muscle, but it does always, and understand this, that if you're walking physically everywhere and you're running and you're physically active always, then understand that over time that your bones always become more of something that is weaker and weaker and weaker over time. So it's just a natural process. I mean, osteoporosis is a natural process, and anything that is, let's say, bone density or bone loss is just a natural process over time. I mean, you must understand. So what you have to understand, that you can prevent it, and you can prevent it. And what you do to prevent osteoporosis much more and bone loss is walk less physically and do less physical work throughout time. And that way you get the best nutrients and you get the best health that you want. So I'm understanding that now. So I'm understanding that no matter what, I'm just learning that now. But you have to maximize everything in terms of the person's ability to continue with their daily life always. So you understand straight away to never be at risk of osteoporosis, and make sure that no matter what, that you're understanding to just go throughout life in a lifestyle measure where you're understanding supplements in terms of Jesus Christ, and you're making sure that no matter what, you have certain medications in terms of information and Jesus Christ to achieve these goals. So make sure you understand that drug therapy is something that you never need, but what you need is Jesus Christ and information to treat osteoporosis, and making sure that no matter what, that if you're learning anything about anything in terms of bisphosphonates is an anti-supportive, or as now anti-supportive, or as anti-supportive drug is a bisphosphonates, or as bisphosphonates is a anti-sop. See, anti-sorptive. I see anti-sorptive drug is bisphosphonates, and you must understand that no matter what, they're just learning different architecture of whatever's going. But estrogen is anything that has antagonists or agonists in terms of life. So making sure that no matter what, that you're understanding that it's a receptor of estrogen, and you're making sure that it's also a modulator of SERMs, which is Evista, in terms of one example of raloxifene. And you're making sure that no matter what, that as you learn these nice and beautiful ways of life, that you understand it's all menopause. So estrogen is menopause, which goes into women, and women have that. So you must understand that since they do have that, then you must understand that what they do is they go through the calcitonin, or as they have calcitonin, or as calcitonin is something that is calcima, which is also miacalcin. I see now calcilma is also miacalcin, which is also calcitonin. And now you must understand that it's all together, but that helps you to understand that no matter what, it's a spinal fracture, and anything that's a spinal fracture is something that you never have a spinal fracture, but it goes into the nice and beautiful way of life that you must understand that if you're growing yourself, then you must understand that to prevent spinal fracture, then you must understand that you must have a post-menopausal with women and everything in life to make sure that you can manage yourself always, to make sure that no matter what, that you can manage pain after a fracture, and make sure you understand that way, you understand that no matter what, that you never get yourself a fracture, is what this is all about. And make sure that no matter what, that you're learning very quickly upon the information around here. So as you're actually understanding that the parathyroid hormone, which is the teriparatide, or as teriparatide, or as now anything that's a parathyroid hormone is a teriparatide, Forteo, and it's a US Food and Drug Administration, FDA. So making sure that no matter what, that you're learning about the approval of hormones, and making sure that every single day you're treating people with a nice and beautiful low risk of fracture, as it stimulates bone formation. So what they are saying is they are treating people with high risk of fracture. You understand? So what they want is a high risk of fracture. You understand? But what you really want is a low risk of fracture. When Jesus Christ can see this, I ask Jesus Christ to see this. I mean, they are saying that they are approving for treating people with a high risk of fracture, as it stimulates bone formation. But they need to go and really, really dwell upon having people with low risk of fracture. But they're saying the truth anyway. I understand, but it's more how they are doing something over there to go really, really, let's say, they're treating people with high risk of fracture over there. I understand, but the thing is that it's honest, yeah? I mean, it is. But the thing is, you have to treat also low risk of fracture too. I understand? I mean, I'm just saying that they have to treat high risk and low risk of fracture. But they're just doing the high risk of fracture. I mean, that's why they're losing. I mean, they're losing because they're only ever doing high risk. I mean, do low risk too. I mean, do both sides, yeah? I mean, I treat people with low risk and high risk. I'm treating the whole occasion. I mean, do you believe that Jesus Christ only does high risk in life? Well, she also does middle risk and low risk. Understand? So, making sure always that you're just having a nice and beautiful blast with yourself. But make sure you understand that information goes a long way to show you that information never lies to you. But you have to go for it. I'm learning very quickly upon understanding that Jesus Christ says that you're doing this excellent. I'm making sure I'm always understanding how I know my word I. So the monoclonal antibodies is a nice and beautiful denosumab, which is a romosozumab. I say romosozumab is a denosumab, which is anything that is an immune therapies of life, where you understand that no matter what, that some people have osteoporosis who go after menopause for some reason, and they make sure that no matter what, they carry an FDA black box warning, which is a possible adverse effect. And now you must understand that no matter what, as they go through that way, then also they're saying that these people have also estrogen, and they're making sure they have hormone therapy which helps them. So they're talking about people who have estrogen and all these diseases. I mean, it's just that kind of way. So you're making sure that no matter what, that if you're the future of anything in life, then you're making sure that you can see the future of anything that's actually helping you. Then you must understand that anything that's a stem cell therapy to treat osteoporosis in the future of anything that's a research found, and you're making sure that you're injecting people with a particular kind of stem cell to make sure that they have much better than mice and much better than the nice and beautiful reverse psychology of anything. And you make sure that no matter what, that they also understand that the bone loss is a way to help ways of life where you understand that you have never ever do bone loss, but make sure you understand that anything that benefits humans is less bone loss. Or else anyway, that if you're understanding how strongly you can determine bone density, or else if you understand how strongly you can determine bone density, then you're understanding the general factors of scientists on how they believe researchers and how they understand investigating around genes and responsible for bone formation, to understand that no matter what, if you understand every single day that we are also losing no hope in making sure that we're making sure that, or as we're making sure that we have all the nice and beautiful mighty offers of osteoporosis treatment in the future, where we're understanding that we never need osteoporosis, but we just need the word I. You understand? I mean, the word I for I love you is what we need. Alright, anyway, that since I'm actually learning very quickly upon what's going on, I'm just learning the art of studying information here. So as I study information, I read it to you and I'll just learn quickly. So as I see the causes and risk, or as I see the causes and risk factors of doctors who identify several risk factors always in what they're doing, and then understanding that no matter what, that they modify everything in terms of the possible stuff to avoid others. And that's what they do to make sure that you must understand that as you want to learn something about life, then just avoid others to have less risks about everything is what they're saying. Then understand that no matter what, if you want to go and continue the nice and beautiful body absorption of bone tissue, then you're making sure that no matter what, that you always absorb more bone tissue, and you're making sure that you always have new bone structures, and making sure that you can go and have better bone density and strength to make sure that you have structural integrity in what you say and do, is what they're saying. I mean, every single day you must understand that if your bone density peaks with something that is late 20s, then you're making sure you understand that people in terms of life, that they start to weaken around 35 years of age. And now nobody starts to weaken, because guess what? You can never start to weaken because your words are more. I mean, so what they are saying is they are starting to limit themselves over here with a number, and then these doctors are saying that they are limiting themselves after 35 years of age. I asked Jesus Christ to see this. Or as these people are saying over here, that after 35, that they are dying. I mean, they're saying over here that they, in the late 20s, that they start to weaken around 35 years of age. I mean, all they have to do is start talking more, man. And they just have to start talking more, but they believe they're already dying. I mean, that's what they're saying. I mean, they're saying that everybody's dying from the 35. But nobody's dying when you're talking more. I mean, how can you die? I mean, you can never die when you talk more. I mean, they're saying the physical realm. I mean, they're saying the physical realm starts to die. I mean, nothing in the physical realm can die because everything's still alive. Or else, although, make sure you understand that everything's still alive. But make sure you understand that's why I'm understanding that the physical world is already dead. I mean, it's already gone from this world. In a sense, so make sure you understand that what they're saying is something that is just has nothing to do with spirituality here. In a sense, so they're just saying that the physical world is already dead. I mean, it's gone. I mean, there's no eternal life over here, is what they're saying. In a sense, so they never realize over here in this information to talk more. I mean, Russia now, they are just saying for this physical stuff that everybody can get sick at any time, and that's the way, you know. I mean, in a sense, so no matter what, you just move on. But as you understand, every single time that you have the both effects of males and females, where you're understanding that people are much more likely to occur with women in terms of menopause, and they're understanding that no matter what, that you understand that sudden decrease in estrogen can happen, and you must understand that no matter what, that estrogen is normally what protects women against osteoporosis. And now that means everybody has estrogen to a certain degree, which is a compound, which is a fatty compound that can help you in terms of life to understand words and understand that no matter what, that estrogen is just something that they're labeling in women though, but everybody has estrogen. Unfortunately, there's some kind of word here that we need to understand. So if you understand estrogen in terms of what they're saying about women, is that women can prevent osteoporosis, is what they're saying. Understand? So anyway, I brought you that the IOF over here, in terms of they are advising people of 50 years of age, of 1 in 3 women or something like that, in terms of 1 to 5 men will experience do experience osteoporosis. And they're just going by statistics that have nothing to do with anything. I mean, they are guessing this. So make sure you understand that this over here is accurate, that they're saying that everybody here experiences osteoporosis throughout time. But I never experienced osteoporosis. I understand Jesus Christ can see that. I always ask Jesus Christ, I ask Jesus Christ to see this, but I understand I never ever experienced osteoporosis, but even though they're saying they do. Because I understand I can speak more words. I can understand that I never have osteoporosis in my life. But even though that my bones may get weaker, I'm pretty sure my bones are the words I say. It's the words I say. Pretty sure the physical realm never matters. But what matters is the word you speak in terms of spirituality. Pretty sure those are your bones. Whereas your bones are strong. When your bones and disease in your words is the best. You understand? You can go the words. Because that's how you learn. And every single time I'm understanding that no matter what, I'm learning. I'm always understanding that no matter what, if you want to understand any factors according to college and rheumatology of anything that's a non-modifiable risk factor, then you understand that anything that is in the mid-30s after the menopause, and anything that has a reducing effect around sex hormones is also lower estrogen and also has menopause. But you must understand that no matter what, that if they're saying that, then you must understand that all they're saying is that they go towards the making harder for bone regeneration over there. So make sure that they're saying that other people are getting sick, but make sure that no matter what, that you understand straight away that it's people of all ethnic colors over here, like white people and Asian people and all these higher risk factors in terms of ethnic groups are getting all these bone density and losing out on their nice and beautiful life, is what they're saying. So anything that is also 5 to 7 feet inches tall and weighing at 125 pounds increases the risk as well, is what they're saying. So it's more, any type of weight can actually go and die, is what they're saying. So I'm making sure anyway, I'm just recapping everything. So as I actually learned, they're saying that no matter what, if you have a close family, you're making sure that no matter what, that you're a member of a diagnosis of something that is helping you move forward, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you're more likely to understand that some people do experience an actual fracture here and there, but you must understand that no matter what, you just speak more words and you're doing greater, and you're making sure that no matter what, that people over the 50 years of age may get a fracture of a low level injury, and also it can happen in any kind of format. So making sure that anyway, as I understand straight away what's going on around this, and you can understand how to go and develop bone growth for yourself, because you have to go and encourage yourself to grow yourself with words, is what as you encourage yourself to go and grow with words, you're just making sure that you have more bone marrow in terms of words and bone growth in terms of words to go and do what you want. But focus on understanding that's what you need in life. So what you need is to understand anything about drugs and health conditions is something that you must understand, that anybody who has disease or medications around what they're doing with hormone levels and some drugs also, you have to understand that drugs always reduce bone mass. Do you understand? Drugs of this life or anything of this life reduces bone mass. But I increase bone mass. But I am this life. So what they're saying is they're lying to you over here. They're fully lying. So what they're saying over here is they're saying that no matter what, that they are people that you can never trust. I just see that straight away. I ask Jesus Christ to see this. I understand they're saying that some diseases and medications cause in hormone levels, and some drugs reduce bone mass. How can that be? Drugs can never actually reduce anything about you because you're talking more words. but they are people who are hypocrites. When they're lying over here, and the people who have no word I over here, and they understand that they are losing, when they're losing over here. So the thing is that you can never trust the other people about information. You understand? But you can trust the information, but you can never trust them to give you the exact information you want. Because what you need is understand Jesus Christ can give you that information. You understand? Because that information is the word I. But they believe that they are unable to speak. And they believe that this world's so evil. You understand? When they believe that the world's so evil, so because they believe the world's so evil, it's because they have no word I. And that's it, yeah? And the world is good, always, because of that. So I'm learning something too. But the whole point is understand straight away that they believe over here to go and give people drugs to reduce their bone marrow. That's what they're doing. And they're going around giving drugs to people to give them less bone marrow to make them losers. Do you understand that? I mean, that's what they're saying over here. I mean, they're telling you the truth. I mean, the truth shall set you free. But what does that mean? I mean, the truth is the words. And if you have the words to speak, then it shall set you free, I promise you. I mean, what do you think I'm doing here? I'm doing the truth of words. I mean, anyway, the disease that they're saying is the affecting hormone of levels, including the hyperthyroid, or they're saying that disease of effect in hormone levels include the hyperthyroidism, because of hypothyroidism, is anything that has a hormone, and anything that's a hyperparathyroidism, in terms of how, or as it's now, hyperparathyroidism, or as hyperthyroidism is something that's a hierarchy of hyperthyroidism, in terms of hyperthyroidism, which is hyperparathyroidism. I'm making sure that I understand or as I understand hyperparathyroid, or as now hyperparathyroidism. And why do they go and really do all these words like this? I mean, why do they never call it, like, for example, hyperparathy? I understand, but it's more how they just go and dwell upon something different. But guess what? It's more how you can change the name of this. It never has to be that complicational, man. I mean, it could be Hyper 770. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, is that much easier to remember? I mean, Hyper 770 is the code of that. Or Hyper 77 is much better than hyperthyroidism. I mean, Hyper 77 is so much easier to remember, yeah? Probably it is, yeah? I mean, use numbers like that. I mean, use codes. And they're using all these structures of chemicals and everything, and they're saying all this HT and all this. I mean, no matter what, that anyway, you must understand. So as you're learning the nice and beautiful way of life, it's all the same thing, but you can also remember some stuff easier. I mean, so as you learn something about life, then you understand straight away. You're just learning how to go and dwell upon helping yourself do something to help yourself. But it's all equal. I mean, so if you can say it, then just go and really spray it in a better way than. But in terms of life, then you're making sure that no matter what, if you're somebody who's a transgender woman, then you understand that no matter what, that you have hormone treatment also, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you can go and risk no osteoporosis, and you're making sure that you must understand that every single day that you're looking for the anti-androgen. I mean, you understand the anti-androgens of anything that's a nice and beautiful way of saying that you reduce the risk of everything. And anything that's transgender men are people who understand the low risk of osteoporosis, and you're making sure that the scientists also carry out more research to confirm these findings. Alright, now, anyway, you must understand that no matter what, if you're learning something about life, then just be quick about everything and just go through the information as much as you can so you can focus upon actually learning about what they're doing. So if you're understanding every single day that you're anything in terms of life where you're understanding that anything that's an autoimmune disease is anything that's ankylosing in terms of spondylitis, and also rheumatoid arthritis is anything that's a autoimmune in terms of autoimmune disease, and you're making sure that no matter what, that anything that's Cushing syndromes is an adrenal gland of disorder, which is a pituitary gland disorders, and also hypothyroidism and hypoparathyroidism, which is a shortening of the nice and beautiful estrogen or testosterone, which also is the problems of mineral absorption, such as celiac in terms of celiac disease. So that's all what they're saying. So anything that they're saying is just what they're labeling everything as. I understand. So you're just making sure that you're reading their subjects and you're reading the subjects of notes that they're using, because that's how you grow.